Welcome back into the studio in part 3 of my YouTube drawing fur secrets video. This is my drawing, and as of today on the 5th of March 2023, it's not even yet finished, but I'm producing these videos to show you some techniques for drawing fur, so I hope you enjoy it. Now on part 1 I covered my secret for doing spots that don't move or blur for my pastel drawings. On part 2 I then took that further and showed you how to do my underlayer. So on part 3 now I'm going to show you the detailing stage. Now remember, if you want to see a really long version of this and many other videos are on my Patreon channel. So let's jump right in. Now what I've done since the last video, I've obviously completed some areas, but I wanted to show you this specific area because it shows nice twists and turns of the fur. And all I've really done is outlined the spots, as you can see on the right hand side by my hand. So I've filled those in, and now I've got a dark pastel pencil. So this one I use fairly often. Okay, so if you don't have Carbothello in your range, it's worth getting the darkest brown pastel pencil. And it's not easy to see the number on the back of it, but I'm pretty sure it's 635, so I use that. And now I've switched to just a lighter, warmer colour. So this is a pit pastel pencil, but that brown I mentioned with Carbothello, that is one of the darkest browns you can get. Now all I'm doing, once again, going in the fur direction, remember, and I'm putting in the shadowy areas that you can see in that reference photo. Now the shape looks slightly different left on the reference photo and my drawing on the right. That's just because of a bit of camera angle, so don't be concerned about that. But you can see I'm bringing the marks down. They're coming down quite an angle in places here. And that's all real-time speed. I'm just concentrating on the direction I'm seeing these marks on the reference. You take as long as you need when you're doing your drawings. I mentioned the duration, the time it takes me to do certain drawings, just simply so people get a ballpark figure, because if you're doing it as a business and you're doing pet portraits or animal portraits, to make that business work, you've got to be able to work at a reasonable time, so that your costs, your pounds or dollars per hour that you're working, works out to something that's actually achievable to make a living from. So for a pet portrait, I would normally take, say it's larger, it's A3 to A4 in size, then it would normally be 8 to 10 or 12 hours maximum. Okay, so you can work back from that and work out what you then need to charge. And I also say it because I've got quite a bit of experience with pastels now, so if you're working at perhaps 30 hours or 20 to 30 hours, you can see with added experience you can get good detail a lot quicker than that. I'm just going to carry on colouring in these spots, and then I'll come back when I'm doing something a little bit different. I thought I'd zoom in some more so you can see what I'm doing in this section, because the fur really does start to twist and go in lots of different shapes as it's pointing down towards the eye over here, and also at the back of the eye towards halfway towards from the eye to the ear. You can see how it all twists and turns and starts to position itself from pointing downwards to more upwards towards the top of the head. So you can see in a bit more detail how I'll work that. Get some darker haze in here. Notice I've not gone to a really dark brown or black. You look on that reference, you can see the difference between the highlight section and the darker section. was slight. Okay, so that's why I only used that mid-tone brown. And now I'm starting to bring these highlight hairs, and you can see how I'm copying that direction I'm seeing in the reference photo. It's a little bit more difficult for me to do it and keep everything out of the video. But you could even stand up and do something like this, or you could, don't forget, change the position of your paper. I'm bringing these marks over onto the dark areas as well, and that's making it look more realistic. And once again, notice, I keep saying it, but my pencil is not particularly sharp at all. And that's the benefit of doing a larger drawing. So just tiny little marks overlapping. And then these, I need to really pull them into the black area. Building up that depth and detail. Okay, so you know how much I love to show you real-time videos, so what I'm going to do, you've seen the technique, I'm just going to let this run so you can see me build up the layers. Okay, so I'm not going to be talking over all of it, it's more of you just watching how each layer builds on top of the next one. And sometimes watching like this, you can see how I'll be gradually going lighter and lighter, putting the highlights on top. Now as I come in with the extreme highlights, the whites, look at that depth. You can see the colours really starting to zing. It's coming alive, it's looking much more realistic. Now, dependent on what size screen you're looking at, it's going to look different. So if you're watching this on a big TV screen, everything's going to be much larger than life, including my hand. Okay, so take that into consideration when you're looking and thinking about the details. If you're watching it on a mobile phone, that's the complete opposite direction, so it's going to be far smaller than in real life. Just a few hairs coming over the eye as well. If I want the mark to be defined, I push harder with the pencil. So I hope this series of 3 videos on YouTube has helped you to see exactly how I build up my layers for spots and detailed fur techniques as well. Don't remember, lots of videos if you want to see them on my Patreon art channel. Over 1,400 members, and I hope to see you there. Just wanted to quickly mention my Patreon channel for those looking for even more in-depth art instruction. It's packed full of pastel videos, oil videos as well, and those videos are being added to new ones every single month. I have videos for the complete beginner that have never done pastels or oils before with just limited supplies, and I take you from the very first blocking in all the way through to the final detailed drawings and paintings. I've also got some really unusual subjects as well, and in all of my videos I always take you through all the details. You see everything I do, how I create my work. But it's not just for beginners, it's also for novices, and I also show the best artwork that I've ever done as well. And this particular elephant video spans 6 hours, so you know you're going to see tons and tons of details, tips and techniques. And as mentioned, I've got lots of oil videos on there too, so there really is something for everybody, and you get access to hundreds of hours worth of videos for just $4. Now over 1,000 members strong. Hope to see you there soon.